Hey there, it's my first video, so bear with me. What I've got is a 2001 Chevy Cavalier. I got off of a guy. He told me pretty much just pull it out of his yard and it's mine. He stated that his daughter was driving it, overheated, and died. It's been sitting in his yard for about 4 years underneath a pine tree. So I went out there, pulled the car dolly out there, drug it home in my garage. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with it. Kind of torn into it so far, trying to figure out what's going on. It does turn over, albeit rough, but it does turn over, but it will not start. One thing I did notice, reason why it overheated and the fact that there's no coolant in it, is down on this side. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's like right down here. See some white in there. There's a plastic, they call it a thermostat housing, even though the thermostat is not housed in there. Thermostat's actually underneath the exhaust manifold back there, along with the water pump. But this is plastic, and it is prone to deteriorating and cracking and breaking. And by the looks of all the corrosion, you can see a bunch right there on this tube, all the corrosion that's down there. I'm only assuming that that had cracked and sprayed all her fluid out, and she drove it until it died, until it seized up. Fortunately, it's not seized. Like I said, it does turn over. I did verify. I did pull the little cap off here that has your plug boots on it. As you can see, it did overheat. The plug boots, this one, and this one are melted. This is a hard plastic over a little rubber boot. Rubber boot's fine, but the plastic is pretty well shot, so those would need to be replaced if I can get this running. See, they don't even sit on there anymore. They're just so bad. I did verify though, with this out, what I did, and keep in mind, I am no mechanic, so I'm just a backyard tinkerer. I did take, and the spark plugs are just horrible. Detonation, no filament on them. But I did take it and I put it in each cylinder, or in each plug boot here. And what I did was I had a little, take you over my toolbox here. I got a little wire. I hooked this end up like this. I put this in there. I put this on around the spark plug, and then I just stuck this onto a ground. I just stuck it on that bolt right down there, and then I turned it over just a couple times, enough to see a spark there. I moved it over, did the same thing. I did see a spark. I did see a spark there, which lets me know that this coil pack here that's mounted on this top cover lets me know that the coil pack is functional and I am receiving a spark. So the other thing I did, I checked even before I started digging into all that. As I started pulling this timing cover off, I essentially had to, I got a jack under there. It's jack holding up the, with a wooden block, it's holding up the motor, because this is there's a motor mount that sits right here. And it's actually, I've got it sitting over there. That is bolted up to the engine, and then that one sits right here. And then they bolt together, and it's the top motor mount. There's still a bottom motor mount still hooked up. I did take the serpentine belt off. I did put the serpentine back on. because I was trying to start it. Obviously, I took the reservoir off here, and then of course I took the air box off, and the air filter is the wrong size, so it was all buckled up in there and allowing air to pass through right here. As you can see, it's a new filter. They must have just had it replaced, but unfortunately it was wherever they took it, they put the wrong size in it, so it kind of sat in there like this, and all the air filtered through right there. So I did take the motor mounts off. I didn't take all these bolts off yet, because some of these are difficult to get to. Down in there, pretty much you got to jack the engine up, get to a few of them, jack the engine back down, take this pulley off, which is the crank pulley, and then there's some more bolts down there, the lower motor mount. There's a pulley. There's a couple more, as you can see, a couple more bolts here. This lower motor mount would have to come off in order to access the rest of the timing cover there. But what I did do, just to make sure that there's the timing chain's notorious for breaking. It's one of the longest timing chains in GM motors, from what I understand. So I pulled it back a little bit, and as you can see, I don't want to pull it too much. I don't want to bend this cover, but as you can see, I do have a chain in there, and I did test the tension. I do have tension in there, so at least the both cams are rolling. Down in here, I am seeing quite a bit of liquid. Motor oil looks like it's coming in from this area right here, which would be the valve cover gasket. I probably end up having to do a valve cover gasket, or I should say a head gasket, or yeah, the valve gasket. And then I don't know, I might do, if I get it that far down, I'll probably end up doing a head gasket as well. But I wanted to see if it was gonna at least give me one kick, kind of run for a minute, and I haven't gotten to that point yet. The other thing I did find was when I was trying to take this, I got it thrown up over here. You've got to take this your throttle cables off. It's bolted in right there. I was taking this off, and I couldn't get down there is where one of these hooks up. This one right here hooks up. You got to kind of turn it and slide it over. Well, I couldn't reach it because of the intake manifold is there, and I was having difficulty moving this. I couldn't move it at all, actually. I ended up putting a wrench. You can probably see a little mar right there. I put a wrench right here and turned it, broke it free. As you can see, there's a lot of grime, and it looks like it actually has got coolant in there that had locked this right up. So this valve body was not rolling at all. I can only assume that maybe because these, I didn't even have to undo those. Those were already like this. So maybe they had some maintenance done already, and since that water was spraying out here, then perhaps the intake was sucking in that coolant into the system, into the valve body, or the throttle body, and possibly causing vapor lock. But who knows? Like I said, I got spark. All the pistons are rolling. I did verify that with a little tube. I have a little plastic tube here that I actually marked it, but I didn't need to. But you put it, I have all the, as you can see, all the spark plugs are out, and I gently found the spot, put the tube in there, and then I put a 1 1/16. It's probably a metric. I don't have any metric this size. I just have the standard, but it was an 1 1/16. and I put that on that bolt right there, and I turned it, and that went up and down. I should say it went up. I didn't roll it very far, but then I went into on the next one, did the same thing, and then the next one and the next one. So I did verify that none of the cylinders or none of the pistons are locked, which means that at least it's still connected to the crankshaft, which sometimes happens in a C situation. I assume that the pistons will lock up and break the rods or come completely off of the crankshaft. But all that's rolling. So I'll be back in a minute.